TV7 Israel News is made possible thanks to your generous donations. Shalom and good evening. This is TV7 Israel News broadcast to you from Jerusalem. And in today's top stories, the annual aerial defense exercise dubbed Juniper Cobra 2021 concluded today after 2 weeks of maneuvers simulating surface-to-surface attacks against Israel. A rocket attack targeting U.S. coalition forces near Erbil International Airport in Iraq claimed the life of one civilian contractor and wounded 9 others. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan questions Ankara's role in NATO in light of Washington's support for the Kurdish YPG militia, which contributes the largest force to the U.S.-backed Syrian Democratic Forces in northeast Syria. The United States remains committed to Israel's security, regardless of the presiding administration in either Jerusalem or Washington. As part of this commitment, an annual aerial defense exercise carried out jointly by the Israeli and American respective air forces, dubbed Juniper Falcon 2021, concluded today. The joint military maneuvers, which were conducted simultaneously in Israel, Germany, and the United States, simulated a range of scenarios in which the state of Israel comes under attack by surface-to-surface rockets, mortars, and other aerial threats. And in contrast to previous years, Iraq and Yemen were added to the countries from which attacks may emanate, joined by Syria, Lebanon, and the Gaza Strip, alongside Israel's arch-enemy, the Islamic Republic of Iran. According to the official readout distributed separately by the IDF and U.S. European Command, which is commonly referred to by its acronym EUCOM, the primary goal of the exercise is to enhance interoperability, strengthen cooperation, coordination, and mutual learning between the two militaries, while expanding and maintaining deep strategic cooperation between the United States and Israel, including to ensure U.S. and Israeli forces are ready and prepared to respond to any contingency, particularly those involving ballistic missile defense or crisis response. The readout further stressed that despite the challenges presented by COVID-19, both the U.S. and Israel are focused on building readiness in support of the United States' ironclad commitment to assist in the defense of Israel and are collaborating virtually to meet mutual training objectives. Meanwhile, despite the evident commitment to Israel's security, strategic differences between the Biden administration and incumbent Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu are prevalent. This was acknowledged by Premier Netanyahu, who in an exclusive interview with Israel's Channel 12 News sought to dismiss any notion that U.S. President Joe Biden was intentionally excluding him from his early round of phone calls to foreign leaders since taking office on January 20th.
זה לא מטריד אותך שהוא לא מתקשר כל כך הרבה זמן?
לא, ממש.
זה לא מסמן לך משהו?
לא, אני אגיד לך מה זה אומר לי. א', יש לנו יחסי ידידות מאוד מוצקים, קרוב ל-40 שנה. מאז שאני באתי כציר ישראל בוושינגטון, והוא היה סנאטור צעיר מדלוור. אנחנו מכירים אחד את השני. יש לנו גם הרבה דברים שאנחנו מסכימים עליהם, והברית היא מאוד איתנה. אבל יש גם חילוקי דעות בנושא איראן, לכן גם בנושא הפלסטיני.
The remarks by the Israeli leader seemingly echoed those made by White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki over the weekend.
Prime Minister Netanyahu is someone the president has known for some time. Obviously, we have a long and important relationship with Israel, and the president has known him and has been working on a range of issues that there's a mutual commitment to for some time. It is just a reflection of the fact that we have been here for 3.5 weeks. He's not called every single global leader yet, and he is eager to do that in the weeks ahead.
Called every other major ally in Europe and in Asia.
He's called many of them. That is true. Some would argue they haven't received calls yet and that they are still eager to receive them, but I can assure you he will be speaking with the Prime Minister soon, and he's looking forward to doing that.
In that same press briefing, Psaki was also asked about whether the Biden administration intends to unveil its strategy vis-à-vis the Islamic Republic of Iran in light of the latest developments related to Tehran's deepening non-compliance to nuclear-related safeguards under the 2015 nuclear agreement, and the Non-Proliferation Treaty, respectively.
Well, I think a primary step here, as the president noted, is if Iran comes back into full compliance with its obligations under the JCPOA, the United States would do the same, and then use that as a platform to build a longer and stronger agreement and also address areas of concern. This is also a topic that is discussed in his conversations with key European partners and allies as well, given their important role in the P5+1. That would be the negotiating body, of course, if we were to move to this step again. But the ball is in their court, and he has spoken to that. I'm not sure there's a lot to add at this moment in time.
Despite Washington's unwavering position in all that relates to Iran's nuclear program, the Islamic Republic maintains a relentless stance, demanding of the Biden administration to first lift sanctions imposed on it under the Trump administration's maximum pressure campaign before it would even consider returning into compliance.
ما فکر می‌کنیم اگر سیاست اصولی یعنی این که به چند جانبه گرایی برگردن، تعهدات خودشون رو اجرا کنن، مسیر غلط رو اصلاح کنن و مهمتر از همه اگر فکر می‌کنن فشار و سیاست دولت قبلی ترامپ شکست خورده بوده، اون مسیر رو بازگردن. قطعاً جمهوری اسلامی ایران هم مطابق آنچه که در علن گفته پاسخ مناسب رو به این اصلاح سیاست‌های ایالات متحده خواهد داد.
The Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesperson went on to assert, in contrast to threats voiced by Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif, that Iran would continue to cooperate with the International Atomic Energy Agency in spite of Iranian legislation which demands to restrict IAEA inspectors from accessing the Islamic Republic's nuclear sites by February the 21st.
همکاری ایران با آژانس ادامه خواهد داشت. قطعاً جمهوری اسلامی ایران طی نامه‌ای همه موارد رو از قبل به اطلاع آژانس خواهد رسوند، همون که تا الان همین کار رو کرده.
Turning to neighboring Iraq, where a rocket attack targeting U.S. coalition forces near Erbil International Airport claimed the life of one civilian contractor and wounded 9 others, including 8 civilian contractors and 1 U.S. military service member. The attack occurred approximately an hour before midnight yesterday, when 3 rockets were fired toward a military installation housing U.S.-led coalition forces in the Iraqi Kurdistan region. Subsequently, the Kurdistan region's Peshmerga ministry, in coordination with the US-led coalition, launched an investigation into the attack, yet the culprits remain unknown. Intelligence sources told TV7 that the attack was either committed by the Iranian proxy Kataib Hezbollah of the Hashd al-Sha'bi or by Islamic State elements in the region. The sources emphasized, however, that regardless of the fact that the attackers remain silent, those responsible will be held accountable. Meanwhile, the United States has found itself in the crosshairs of Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan after the U.S. State Department released a statement in which it condemned the death of 13 Turkish civilians at the hands of the Kurdish PKK, a designated terror organization blacklisted by both the United States and Europe. Turkey announced on Sunday that the Kurdistan Workers' Party executed 13 Turks, including military and police personnel, who were kidnapped while operating against a group in Iraq. When the United States published its condemnation, however, President Erdogan voiced outrage over what Ankara regards as American hypocrisy, since it backs the Syrian Kurdish YPG militia, which Turkey regards as an offshoot of the PKK.
İşte Amerika'nın yaptığı bir açıklama var. Evlere şenlik. Hani siz teröristlerin yanında durmuyordunuz? Hani siz PKK'nın yanında değildiniz? Hani siz YPG'nin yanında değildiniz? Hani siz PYD'nin yanında değildiniz? Bal gibi de yanındasınız ve arkasındasınız.
The Turkish leader went on to question Ankara's role in NATO in light of Washington's support for the Kurdish YPG militia, which contributes the largest force to the US-backed Syrian Democratic Forces in northeast Syria.
Eğer biz sizinle NATO'da berabersek, eğer biz sizinle dünyada NATO'da bu birlikteliğimizi sürdüreceksek bize samimi davranacaksınız. Teröristlerin yanında yer almayacaksınız. Eğer yer alacaksanız bizim yanımızda yer alacaksınız.
Thank you for watching us. For more of TV7 Israel's productions and reports, including a variety of programs and editorials, I would like to encourage you to visit our website at www.tv7israelnews.com. And as part of TV7's prayer initiative, I would like to also encourage you today to join myself and the team here in Jerusalem to lift up Turkey in prayer for its salvation and peace, alongside prayers for our persecuted brothers and sisters around the world. In addition to our ongoing prayers, of course, for the peace of Jerusalem, the salvation of Israel, and for all those who are impacted by the corona contagion and its numerous ramifications worldwide. Separately, I would like to also thank all of you who partner with TV7 Israel. Your dedicated monthly support, both by means of prayer and finance, is of crucial importance for our ongoing operations. I'm Jonathan Hassan, wishing you an Erev Tov u'Mevorach, and we will see you again tomorrow at the same time.